We're saying today we're looking at computers. So we're looking at math, computers in mathematics. Okay. So there's what we call as pseudocode, and there's what we also call as a flowchart. Okay. So now, these things, they are the computers and the like. They are when you look at a phone. Okay, when you look at a phone is simply a computer. Okay, it's given some information in it. So there's some information that there's some software that it has, such that when you are trying to do something, you enter particular codes, and then it's either it accepts or it rejects, depending on the software which is installed in it and what that software is supposed to do. Okay, so let's say for instance, when you want to check balance, what do you dial on your phone? If you want to check the balance for talk time, what do you dial? What numbers do you dial?
I can't see the board.
Okay, I'm sure it's just network as trader. Lumba, when you want to check the balance on the phone, what do you do? What numbers do you dial?
Star 117 hash.
That is not for balance. That is not for talk time. That's for Soche packs or minutes and the like.
So for what? Is that the question?
When you want to check balance, like your account balance in the phone, how much talk time you have?
It's star 114 hash.
Good. So you dial star 114 hash. Okay? Because the phone was instructed, there is an instruction to say the moment someone dials this number, you must give them their account balance. So the moment you enter this number, the message comes in to show you your balance. So there is an instruction inside the phone that already is set to say when you see this, you should respond. And the moment that instruction sees that, it responds automatically. So that's what happens there in the phone. So now, this is all what we are talking about, computers. So what about if you want to check your mobile money balance and you're using Airtel? What do you do? Star 115 hash, isn't it?
Yes.
Then from there, what do you enter this? Then from there, what option do you enter?
Option 1.
If you want to check balance on mobile money,
It's option 6.
good. So you enter option 6. Then what do you enter again after option 6?
Option 2.
Option 2. Then from there, what do you enter? You enter the password, right?
Yes.
Enter PIN. Okay, so if you entered wrong PIN, what happens?
The message will come that you have entered the wrong PIN.
So there will be a message, there will be an error saying wrong what? Wrong PIN. What if you entered the correct PIN? What happens? If you entered the correct PIN, you are going to be given your balance, isn't it?
Yes.
Else display balance. Then the whole process has stopped. So you start. This is the process of checking balance in your mobile money account. Now, this kind of information that we have done here, this is what we call a pseudo code. Okay, this is what we call a pseudo code. Ndiye pseudo code. Now there's also what we call a flowchart, which represents this, how this is flowing. So this one is in fact here the message will say wrong pin, then it will say enter correct pin. Enter correct pin. Okay, error, wrong pin, enter correct pin. That's what the message will say. So now in this thing, in this computer, there are things that you need to know. There are some shapes that we use that are associated with what we are doing here. So for instance, for you to start the process, the shape that we use looks like an egg. So this one can be used for start or stop. It can either be used for start or for stop. It looks like an egg. Then this one it's for enter or display. That shape can be used for enter or for display. When you are entering something, you use that shape, or when you are displaying something, you use that shape. So this is the shape used for either entering or displaying. Then there's also this shape. This rectangle is used for processing or calculations. So that one is used for processing or calculations. That shape there. And then we have this shape also. This shape is used for decision. Okay, so that diamond shape is used for decision. Okay, we use that one for decision. If you are to decide, then you use that shape there. Okay, so these are the shapes that we use in flowchart for us to come up with a flowchart. So this is a pseudocode, so we have to enter these into the respective shapes so that we come up with this whole information, how it should follow each other. Okay, so now having known what the shapes that we have there, let's try to present this information from a pseudocode to a flowchart. Let's try to present that and see how it will look like. Okay, so we have to start the process. So we are saying start. You start. Then from there now, the next thing you do is to enter star 115. So you draw an arrow which comes here, says enter star 115 hash. Okay, so from there okay, so we have entered this one, then we come again, we are entering this time around we are entering 6. So you enter 6, you put an arrow there. Again we are entering it 2. So there is this symbol again, enter 2. You put an arrow there. Again we are saying you enter pin. So we are saying enter pin. Okay. Then from there, here we are saying Was the pin wrong? Like if the pin is wrong, then there should be an error message. If the pin is correct, then the balance will be displayed. So here you need to put a decision box. This one, a decision box. So you say, is pin wrong? Okay, with a question mark. Is pin wrong? It's a question because you have to decide here. Is the pin wrong? So if you say yes, meaning you have to show a message which says error, or which shows wrong pin, re-enter pin, re-enter correct pin. So the message here should be wrong pin, enter correct pin. Okay, so if the pin is wrong, so the question here is, that's why it's a decision box. The question is pin wrong? So when if you say yes, meaning the pin is wrong, so yes, then you should display, because here it says wrong pin, then you should there is an error, the wrong pin message should be shown, should be displayed. So there's a display here. If the pin is wrong, because the question is pin wrong? Yes, meaning the pin is wrong. So there should be a message that is displayed, because this shape is for display, either enter or display. So the message will be displayed, wrong pin, enter correct pin. Then if you are using Airtel, meaning the whole transaction would have ended, you have to restart here. You have to start again. That's how Airtel works. But if the pin, the question is the pin wrong? If you say no, meaning the pin was correct. So if the pin was correct, then you display balance. Okay? Display balance. Display balance. Then from there you stop. Okay, then after that you stop. So now what we have drawn here is the flow chart. This is the flow chart. While this side, this is what we call as the pseudo code. So this is the pseudo code, this is the flow chart. So this is all you need to know about this computer thing. The questions will come in only two ways. It's either they will give you a pseudo code so that you can come up with a flow chart, or you'll be given a flow chart so that you can come up with a pseudo code. That's the only way. So if you are given a flow chart, you are asked to come up with a pseudo code. You record start, you write start. Enter 11 star 115, enter star 115. Enter 6, enter 6. Enter 2, enter 2. Enter pin, enter pin. Is pin wrong? Okay, here you say wrong pin. So wrong pin. Okay, like we have put here, wrong pin. Okay, so when the pin is wrong, you write an error message, that message there. Then else means if the pin is not wrong. That's what the else means. So else display the balance, meaning when the pin is correct, the balance should be displayed. That's why I'm saying is pin wrong? Yes, meaning the pin is wrong, you display this message. If is the pin wrong? No, meaning the pin is correct, you display balance. This is the else display balance. Then usually there is something here, there is another word that I have forgotten which says end if, then stop. That's what we have. Any question before we can go to the exam question? Any question?
No questions, sir.
Okay, let's try something from 2016, 2017. Then I'll ask you to do the one in the paper as an exercise to see whether you have understood what we would have done here. Okay. So okay, so we have, this is 2016. So we have 2016 we have so the question says the program below is in the form of a pseudo code. Okay, the program below is in form of a pseudo code. So we have start, then we have enter radius, then we have if radius is less than 0, then display error message. Display error message and re-enter positive radius. Okay, then further it says else enter height. Okay, else enter height. This one is quite long. I don't even think whether it will fit on our board here. So else enter height. Then if height is less than 0, then display error message and re-enter positive height. Okay, then else volume is equal to 1/3 times pi times radius squared times height. Then it says end if, then from there it continues and says display volume. And then from there says stop. Okay, then now the question says draw the corresponding flow chart for the information given above. Okay, so that is the question that we have. Okay, so we have that question. So now here we are remaining with display volume and stop. So display volume and stop, let me just write them here so that we can use this part to write the flowchart. So we're saying display volume, then stop. Okay, then the question is asking us to draw the corresponding flowchart. We draw the corresponding flowchart. Let's try to see if we can manage to draw our corresponding flowchart on this space that we have. Okay, so we have, so first of all, we need to start, and when starting, we are using this kind of a shape. So start. Then we have started. From there, we are saying enter radius. So we should enter radius. The shape for entering is something like this. So enter arrow. Okay, we put an arrow here like that. So enter arrow, we are on this one. Then the next says if radius is less than 0, then display error message. Else, meaning if it's not less than 0, then we enter height. So here there is a decision we need to make. Is radius less than 0? That's a question mark. Is radius less than 0? Because that's the question here. So we have an arrow there. So if yes, if we're going to say yes, then we have to display an error message. Okay, so I have to display an error message. So I have to say error must be positive. Okay, error must be positive. So what do we do? Because here it says re-enter positive radius. So meaning we should put an arrow that directs to where error should be entered. So the system should take you back where it asks you to enter positive radius. Then from there, if this is when r is less than 0. Now what if it's not less than 0? This is where we have. So is radius less than 0? Yes, we are going that way. Then if we say no, meaning radius is not less than 0. So if radius is not less than 0, what do we do? The question says else, meaning if the radius is less than 0, we display this message here. Else, meaning that is now radius is not equal to 0. We're supposed to enter height. So we need to enter height. So enter height h. Okay. Then we have entered h. Now, if h is less than 0, then display an error message and re-enter positive h. Exactly the same as what is happening there. So you are saying there should be a decision again here to be made. So I'm saying is h less than 0? Question mark. If yes, then we are saying we should display re-enter, we should display error. So we are saying h must be positive. Okay, I'm just writing plus VE to mean positive. So you have to re-enter the h must be positive. So meaning here there's an arrow, I forgot. So there should be an arrow which takes us back to where we can enter h. So here there should be an arrow taking us back there to go and enter h, because we entered the wrong one. Now, is h less than 0? No, meaning it's not less than 0. What should you do according to what we have here? Else, meaning if it's not less than 0, else our volume is equal to this. So else, then we know volume, there should be some calculations here, or process or processing, which will be V is equal to 1/3 times R squared times H. Okay, that is if the H is not less than 0, then volume can be calculated. Okay, then from there, this is else volume is equal to that. Then end if, meaning the process has ended. So what should be done next is to display the volume. So is to display the volume. So we are using this kind of a shape to display volume. That's the shape that we are using. So I'm saying here display volume. Then what do you do after you have displayed volume? You stop. You end. The whole process has ended. So we have managed to transfer the pseudocode into a flowchart. Any question? Any question?
No questions, sir. Understood.
Astrida, are you able to see the board at this time?
Sometimes I can see it, sometimes I can't see it. As for now, it's not there.
Oh. But you're still using Airtel internet?
Yes, but I can see it now.
Oh. So when you see it, you take a screenshot so that you are able to follow along. Okay, so this is what we have. Unless if there's any question, we look at another question which came in a different way. So the next question started with a flowchart. Then we were requested to come up with the pseudocode from the flowchart. So let's see how the question came. Okay. So this was so let me cut it again here. So this was 2017. Okay, so we have the question which says study the flow chart below. Study the flow chart below. So we have start, then from there we have enter R, then from there we have a decision to make. It's saying it was almost the same. Is R less than 0? Question mark. Then there are arrows here. Then here we have yes. There's an arrow. So here there's this box which says error. R must be positive. Okay, so meaning you need to re-enter R. Okay, re-enter R because the R that was entered was less than 0. Then if there's a no here, if you say no, meaning the R is not less than 0, then we are saying area A is equal to half times R squared sine theta. Then from there it says display area. display area. Then from there says stop. Okay, so that is the flow chart that we have, which we are being asked to study. Then from there now, we are told to say, write a pseudocode. So the question says, write a pseudocode. Write a pseudocode corresponding to the flow chart. So write a pseudocode corresponding to the flow chart. Okay, so we are supposed to write a pseudocode that corresponds to that flow chart. So here now we say we are going to say start. Okay, start because there is a start here. Then from there we say enter radius. Enter radius. Then because there's a decision here, so we say if radius is less than 0. Okay, that's a condition there. So we say if radius is less than 0, okay, or we can just use a symbol for instance. So we say if radius is less than 0, then you display the error message. Okay, display error message. So display error message. Now display the error message because of this arrow here. Because of this arrow here, meaning we have to re-enter the positive arrow and re-enter positive radius. If there was no this arrow, we are just supposed to say error. We are just supposed to display error message. That's so it ends there. Now, because there's an arrow which says after I've displayed error message, it says re-enter. So it brings to the enter screen. So meaning you have to enter again the correct radius. That's what it means. Okay. Yeah. So from here, the other decision is that if the error is correct, is greater than 0, then you do what? Then area is going to be calculated using this formula. So here you say else meaning other than this root here, else we are saying area is equal to 1/2 times r squared sine theta, because there was a decision to make there. Okay, after that then we see that the next thing that comes is display. So we are saying and if, okay, then from there we say display area. So display area, then after I've displayed area you stop. Okay, so that is our pseudocode. Any question? Any question?
No, sir. No question, sir.
Astrida, any question?
I can't see the board.
Uh-oh. So you should ask the question after watching the video. Okay? Yes. Okay, so I expect you to answer the question in the paper and I'll send more questions for you to practice. So if there are no questions, we can end here for today. So we are meeting tomorrow for physics at 17 hours sharp. Okay, so for
Sir,
now it's Baba. Yes, Astrida.
can you please, when you send the question of the past paper, can you just tick that you are here you are answering question what?
No, but after teaching Kaya Astrida, you should know to say this is the question. So you should be following the questions the way we are answering them from the time we started. Okay, so you should also know to say now we are on question 5, we are on question this, we are moving on to question so, because we are following question by question.
Okay.
So yeah, for me to teach this, it means I know where which question we are supposed to do. So you should also follow along because we are doing this together. So you should also follow to say, oh, okay, no, this is where we are. Okay, this is how far we have gone. It will help you as well, because if you want me to tell you everything, you don't have time to check for that. So it means you're not doing fine. I'll be trying when I send to say, okay, this is we are answering question so I'll be trying, since you have requested for that. I also try to mention what question we are answering. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, bye bye for now. Let's meet tomorrow, 17 hours. Tomorrow the timetable changes, so we meet quite earlier. So 17 hours sharp, we meet. Yeah, bye bye.